This is your meeting minute for the February 9th Select Board Town Manager Input Session. With this being the first time in over 20 years Exeter has searched for a new town manager, the Select Board held this public input session to gather feedback from residents on what they would like to see in Exeter's next town manager. Select Board Chair Nico Papakonstantis started off the meeting explaining how the town plans to go about selecting someone for the position. Nico, as the Select Board Chair, Select Board Vice Chair Molly Cowan, Interim Town Manager Melissa Roy, Finance Director Corey Stevens, the Police Chief, Fire Chief, Public Works Director, and Planning Director will all be a part of the interview process to determine who will move on to another round of interviews with the Select Board in a non-public interview under RSA 91A. Interim Town Manager Melissa Roy summarizes the job description posted nationwide, explaining the town manager position as Chief Administrative Officer who reports directly to the Select Board, overseeing town personnel, and are also the town's tax collector. She mentions that the Select Board will ultimately decide if the town manager will need to be a resident or non-resident, which will be discussed in length later. Daily tasks for the town manager is day-to-day administrative control over personnel, hiring and firing, overseeing the annual budget, and overseeing the CIP, as well as other tasks, ultimately looking to meet the Select Board's goals in a strategic and transparent way, and being available to all residents.
Like you said, we did a national search. Exeter's a community that is steeped in history, but also very forward-thinking. It's this really great dichotomy. So we're looking, what I would say, for a collaborative, transparent, and forward-thinking leader who values community engagement and professional excellence.
We brought in a consultant, Bill Keegan, who did what we affectionately call the Keegan Report. And it's been a visionary report, and it's a report that we have embraced, not taking all of the suggestions, but most of them. And I think that we all agreed when we met with Bill that we look at the town manager's role as being visionary. I'm hoping we'll be as flexible on the residency requirement if we find the right person. I don't think we need to pigeonhole ourselves to have somebody live here or not live here. I think we need to be flexible and just, if we find the right person, certainly if they want to move here, we would invite that. But I think we need to be flexible in that thinking. So
the board then opened up public comment to the audience of 2 attendees present at the meeting so that they could voice their opinions on what they would like to see the town look for in the next town manager. The first speaker was Jen Harrington, who spoke about residency requirements.
And I think that somebody that was truly invested in coming to be in our community with everything that Melissa has said, the history that we have and the forward thinking that we have, I think for me, that's probably one of the most essential pieces, is that they do eventually become a resident, because I think you can lead better and be better when you live here and you embed yourself within the community.
Next up to the podium was Amanda Kelly.
I'd really like to see somebody who's inspiring with big ideas. I think somebody who has that vision and is proactive about creating it, and not somebody who's going to feel like being in survival mode, right? Like, what do we want from this community is really important to me. Someone with great ideas about communication. I know the communication committee has tried really hard and is putting in a lot of effort, but I do think it is an area we really struggle with. I would love to see a town manager who can build excitement and pride. Our town, there's so much to be proud of. I'm so proud of everything that we do, and somehow I feel like it gets lost to the larger community. And so I just feel like that communication skill of not being on the back foot, but being on the forefoot and creating that excitement and buzz about what's happening, I think would be huge, knowing the struggles that we have had.
The Select Board continued the discussion further.
I heard what you said about the resident requirement. For me, that's less important. The most important thing for me is that I want buy-in from a new town manager on the Keegan Report. That's a non-negotiable for me. I want someone who gets it, has read it, and gets it, and wants to continue enacting it. So that's the most important thing for me, I think.
Communication, we've been struggling with that for years, and it would be great to have some new, fresh ideas on that. But like Mr. Chartrand, the Keegan Report is a priority for me as well.
I work with over 300 towns, and the majority of those towns, the town managers do not live in their respective towns that they manage. Some do, and it works, but the norm is that they don't live in the town. I've seen it work, and much with the police and the fire and public works. I mean, Steve Cronin is here, for 2-3 days straight during a snowstorm. I think a typical town manager, whether they live in town or not, they're here in this building or around town more than they're in their homes.
With the discussion concluded and applications now closed, the next step will be for the executive team to determine who of the 25 applicants submitted fit the criteria. A survey will also go to the town staff asking what they would like to see from the would-be town manager. For residents unable to attend the public input session, they can still share their thoughts by emailing selectboard@exeternh.gov. The next select board meeting will be on Tuesday, February 17th. See you there!